Welcome back to the channel. In the last video we took the bodywork off and removed the tank. Now it's time to get the carbs off and try and figure out what the problem is. Stick around and we'll go through it together. So in your absence, I've already removed the airbox. I just wanted to check inside the airbox. A friend of mine once left his bike laid up for the winter. When he came back to it, he was having a few running problems. We needed to find a mouse that made a nest inside the airbox. There is no mouse in this airbox, so we're okay. Just in case any of you are wondering, I have checked for a good spark. I didn't think it was the spark plugs anyway, but because the bike is firing okay. But just in case, I had a look at that. So we're going to remove the carbs. I've already slackened off every one of these bolts so far. It's advised in some videos that I have watched. We've got to take the choke cable off and the two throttle cables. One's a return and one's a normal throttle cable. And remember, just down on the side, just to unclip your idle adjuster. So we've just got to undo these Jubilee clips. There's obviously one on each port. And we've also got to take off the fuel feed. So there's a couple of other pipes here we need to disconnect. So I need a little bit of slack at the throttle cables. There's no adjustment left on that side, so I'm going to have to disconnect them from this side. There we go, a little bit fiddly. Okay, so we've got the carbs off and onto the bench. Before we start getting stuck in, I suggest you read something about it. I know nothing about carbs. I've never taken one apart before. Maybe on an old motocross bike perhaps, but I didn't know what I was doing then either. So get yourself a manual. Print off the relevant pages. You've got to keep delving in. I've read the manual and the chapter on carbs a couple of times. I've looked at quite a few videos. Don't listen to just anybody on the internet. Don't listen to me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I've looked at other videos. Like I say, I've read the manual a few times. So, you know, do your research. Don't just follow somebody blindly, especially an idiot like me, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I've made a couple of pots up to put the components in. It does suggest in the manual that you don't mix each individual port component. It also suggests you don't take the separating bar off unless you really have to. So I'm going to try and intrude on this as little as I can. I was going to clean the outside, but it's incredibly clean, there's no point. I think I did mention earlier on that the previous owner had paid to have these carbs balanced and sonically cleaned, but that was about 2 years ago, and it looks like it's done pretty much no mileage since, so it's probably got itself back to its previous condition. Now they do suggest in some of the magazines, the manual and some of the videos online, I think it's the pilot screw is the one that normally causes idling problems, so we're going to be looking into that. We were taking it all apart anyway. So I've got a couple of cameras dotted around so you can have a couple of different views of this, and I'll try to get you in as close as I possibly can. Okay, so as I explained, I've already loosened these off. Some of them are a little bit mashed up. I may try to replace them. Also, I got a nice clean work surface. Okay, so I'm noticing that this diaphragm is slightly folded over. I don't know if it was like that when it came off, or I just put it into that position. One thing you're warned of is not to lose the air jet, which is just there. If it stays in, leave it in. If it comes out, just put it safely. Okay, it appears now the air jet has come out with the diaphragm. So I'm just going to leave it in there. That's our jet needle. Onwards and upwards. Okay, and again it stayed in, so I'm leaving it in. So I'm going to look back on the video later to see if this was seated properly or whether it was like it before I took the cap off. Okay. Just going to try and empty the float bowls. Just going to get the float bowls off. Excuse the noise, I've had to leave the door open and it's a bit windy, but the fumes are killing me. If you think you're not going to remember how things go back together, take a few photographs. Okay, so as you can see in there, it is quite grubby. Consider it's done virtually no mileage since the last rebuild. Again, a similar story in there. So we've got a totally different screw in one of these float bowls. It's a little bit longer, doesn't seem to be causing a problem. And that one's really grimy. All that shit in there. And again, tons of gunk. Okay. Okay, so now we get the floats out. On some they're held in by a pin, these are held in by a screw. So as you can see there, it comes out with a float needle. Notice I'm taking a lot of time over this. I'm not diving in and pulling things apart. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing when looking in here is, okay, so this is your pilot jet. This is your main jet. And I believe that is your needle jet that it's screwed into. I have no idea what that is there. I'm trying to work it out. It doesn't say on the manual to take it off, so I'm just going to leave it alone. First thing I'm noticing is the main jets here, all good, apart from this one, which it looks like a little bit of snapped off there. Look, there's nothing inside here, so it must have been done previously. So we'll try and get that out. It'll still be serviceable, no doubt. It's just getting it in and out. It's going to be a bit of a pain. Okay, so that one's clear. I can see through that one. Okay, so that's the one they reckon you'll have a problem with, is the pilot jet. As you can see, like I say, it's I can't see through it, I'm going to give it a little bit of soak in the tub. Okay, now I believe this is the needle valve and filter. There it is. Okay, look at all the shit on that. It's going to need a damn good clean. Look at that crap. Jesus. Okay. Okay, that seems to be the breakdown of number one. I'll do the rest. Okay, so I'm just going to get some carb cleaner in here. And just let them soak for a while. So the manual recommends replacing the O-ring on the needle valve filter. So I've just gone out and bought a generic box of O-rings. I've already replaced this one. It seems to fit okay. So I'll continue doing it with the others. So I'm just replacing these filters whilst I'm waiting for the jets to soak. Okay, that one's just split, brittle there. Again, another one gone. Sadly, I don't have the use of compressed air, so I can't go flushing this out. But I think what we've done should hopefully cure the problem. I did buy this thing for attempting to clean jet needles with, but I don't really feel comfortable digging around it. Just had a go off camera. I didn't really like it, so hopefully it's going to clear itself just with a soak in, you know. All these rubbers are very brittle. Okay, let's put that to one side. I'm just going to have a go cleaning all these float bowls out. Okay, that seems to have done the job. Didn't need a lot. Look how much crap is in that. Seems to be okay. Just going to give some of the other components a little spray down. Okay, let's get this back together. Okay, while you were away, I had a little bit of trouble with two things. You may notice there that is a cross screw. The one that was in there was just, I don't know why that was like that. It's a bit chewed up, and it's got a washer on it. It seemed to be snagging on the side of the float. Doesn't look like the right one. I don't think I mixed up, but I don't think I did. But see how it goes. Also, the float needle was sticking a little bit, so I've taken it apart, tried cleaning it, and it seems to be working now. So I'm just going to get the rest of this assembly all back together. Okay, so we're all back together. All we've got to do now is get it back in the bike. Okay, we're going to call that a success. I'm off to make a cup of tea to celebrate. Join me in the next video. Take care.